So, it's time to talk about some Resident Evil. It's the best game series of all time. It's my personal favorite. There's just nothing like it. It's so original, and it continues to grow and evolve through the times, and it stays relevant after all these years. There's a lot of series that haven't made it this far, but Resident Evil is still going strong. Resident Evil 2 Remake just came out in January, and that game was completely awesome, and the future looks bright. But I just want to talk about my collection that I have here. So so we're gonna start it off at the beginning of everything with the PS1, and with Resident Evil 1.
Resident Evil
Started it all, and this game is so good. With the weird, freaky Chris cover art where he's like bugging out. This game's so freaking good. The music, the atmosphere, the mansion is just legendary. Like, the mansion incident is legendary. If you haven't played this, go back and play it. Not the director's cut, but this version right here. Because director's cut's good, but this version is way better. And then we have director's cut. I have 2 copies of director's cut. I think I just found one in the wild for really cheap. This game's cool. It added extra features, different modes, costumes. Just like a good Capcom update to a game where you just get a ton more stuff and more replayability out of an already great game. And then this brings us here.
Resident Evil 2
was the first Resident Evil I ever encountered. I was absolutely terrified of this game, and this game is so good. So many hours of content. The gameplay is great. The atmosphere, the music, the voice acting was better. It was just so scary, so intense, and it's a perfect game. There was so much content here with the Claire, Leon campaigns. The action was fun. Resident Evil 2. I highly recommend playing this game if you only played Remake. Play this game. It's still good, and it exists as its own thing, which is great, and it's still good. Okay, and I actually just recently picked this up. This was I got this at Too Many Games Expo. I went there with my friends, and I managed to find a copy of Biohazard 2. Out of all the Japanese games, this is the one I wanted most, just because I love the cover art, where it's the half zombie face. He looks all awesome there, and the big red text, and the discs are really cool. They're very artsy, simplistic, very cool. And this version actually came with the memory card stickers, which are pretty cool. I mean, like, that this copy existed out in Japan, and it has the original stickers in it, and you got ones for Director's Cut, Resident Evil 1, RE2, there's a Stars one there, and some Japanese symbols over there. Super fucking cool! So that's Biohazard 2. And once again, same thing as RE2. And for the last of my PS1 collection, we have Resident Evil Survivor.
Resident Evil Survivor.
I got it really cheap though, which is good. I've seen it complete really expensive, but this version was cheap. The girl at the store gave me a deal. She saw that I really wanted it, and so I got it really cheap. And it's a fun game. You can beat it in like one sitting. A lot of people shit on this game, rightfully so, because it is a piece of shit and the voice acting is horrible. But there's some cool stuff in this game. There's like posters of Dino Crisis hanging up. Like, there's just a lot of weird shit in this game. It's just another cool game with PS1 Resident Evil graphics, which I appreciate. And then, so I guess that's the PS1 games. One more before we jump over. This is the only one I have on Dreamcast. This is Resident Evil 2 on Dreamcast. This version is really good. It has better textures. The game just plays a little bit better. Your health appears on the controller of the Dreamcast controller, which is super cool. And there was actually an art gallery in this game. You could play through the campaigns, and as you played through, you got concept art of Leon, Claire, a bunch of the side characters, some of the monsters in the game. And I thought that was always really cool, and it was just something extra when I got this version. It made me play through it again because I wanted to see all the concept art they had and all the extra stuff, which is really cool. Great game. Alright, so I guess we'll move on to the PS2 because we went through PlayStation 1. There's so many fucking games here. Jesus fuck. So PS2. We'll start off the best way possible with these two fucking gems. Resident Evil Outbreak and Outbreak File 2. Holy shit.
Resident Evil.
This was the first time ever Resident Evil was multiplayer. Holy shit. You could play it single player with AI bots, or you could play it multiplayer, but man, there was nothing like this game. You got these really cool Resident Evil scenarios, puzzle solving with people. You got to go new enemies, new monsters, new bosses. You got to go to different and familiar locations throughout Raccoon City. And it just kind of expanded the world of that whole incident, and had some really cool stuff. Like in 2, you had the zoo. You also go back to the police station in Resident Evil 2, which is like a really cool scenario. You're there before the place gets overrun, and you get to meet Marvin. If you played Resident Evil 2 Remake, you know who Marvin is, and you get to see all that stuff before it happens. And it's a shame. Capcom really needs to release those games again, or make another one, because now it would just work so much better. A weird side game, Resident Evil Dead Aim, with that cool Shinjiro artwork. The best cover artwork ever. This game it's in the Gun Survivor series. It's actually the 4th game. Yeah, you're on a ship, you're going around. There's a lot of ship games in Resident Evil. You're on a ship, you're fighting zombies. The combat is first person, and you move around in the third person perspective. Really cool game. Really good enemies. Really good bosses. I don't know. This game's really cool. It always gave me like a summery vibe. So I'll probably play that at some point this summer. But it's just like a good side game to get you some more Resident Evil content. All right. Now, we'll get to this bad boy. We'll cross this again when we get to the GameCube, but this is Resident Evil 4, my favorite game of all time. This is just a greatest hits copy. I guess I got cheap somewhere, like Target or something. And then this version is the premium edition. This is the steelbook that comes with the making of Resident Evil 4, and also this really cool prologue to Resident Evil 4, which it talks about the story of all the other games to catch you up. I used to read this thing religiously just because it's awesome, and the storyline's really good, and Resident Evil 4 is such a good game. It's my favorite game of all time. And it still keeps getting ported to this day. I just got it on Switch, so there's a reason it's still good. And a lot of people like to hate on this game now. Like, there's this whole new group of people who are like, oh, that game always sucked, but they are wrong. I don't know why it's popular to hate this game now. It was just so damn good. I don't know. And then the most important one, Code Veronica X on PS2. This was the first time I ever had Code Veronica. This is the Resident Evil 5th Anniversary Edition that came with Devil May Cry demo. And yeah, Code Veronica is, I have a very, it's the one I think I beat the least. It's a very long game. It's very tough. It's really good. It's a really, really good game. And you can get it on Xbox One. It's backwards compatible. It's on PS4 in HD. Really good game. I damn long. And there's a part in the middle
Resident Evil.
because you like take the items from the
Biohazard.
It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. So now the GameCube. All right. So we'll start here.
Resident Evil 0.
This is Resident Evil 0. This fucking game is so good. I mean, I keep saying that about everyone. They're all really good. I like all the games. This game was a lot of fun. Really scary. The graphics were so good. You have to play as Rebecca and Billy. Billy is a badass, and Rebecca's awesome as well. Yeah, this game is available on everything now, so make sure you play that. This is my GameCube version, and it's still inside. I still have notes for a puzzle that was really hard to figure out at the time, where you have to use a lighter to light the statues in a correct order. It's the deer, wolf, unicorn, bear, snake, eagle. In case anyone hasn't figured that out, here it is. Now, so we got Resident Evil 0. One sec, put that in there. Holy shit. Now we're on the good stuff.
Resident Evil.
This game is truly terrifying. If I had to like boil Resident Evil down to one game and show someone Resident Evil that has never seen it before or heard about it, I would show them the remake. This game is the perfect Resident Evil game. It has the atmosphere, the horror, the gameplay, everything's perfect in this game. The music, it's like they just remade all the tracks. It's such a fucking good game. God, this is such a good game. Get it on every system right now. Another version of Resident Evil 2 on GameCube, just smoother graphics. This game,
Resident Evil.
this is the only version of Resident Evil 3 I own. This game is really, really good. Now, Resident Evil 4, we're back to Resident Evil 4 again. So this first here, this is actually the first version of Resident Evil 4 I ever got. This is the special edition, the GameStop edition. I went to the store to pick up the game, and they were all out of copies. I was so excited for Resident Evil 4. They were all out of copies, and I was really sad. But the guy behind the counter said they had one more collector's edition, and so yeah, I ended up lucking out, and I got the collector's edition because the guy didn't pick it up who pre-ordered it. And it came with the CD soundtrack, it came with this weird photograph of Leon for whatever reason, if you just, like, some CG Leon, if you want to hang that in your living room. And this also came with the prologue book, so you can catch up on the story. Great. Once again, best game of all time. Also, it's just a really good game. And then also here we have the Resident Evil preview disc. I got this on eBay. Yeah, and it's really cool. It has like trailers for all the other Resident Evils that were coming to GameCube. And this is the version they would demo at kiosks when they were demoing Resident Evil 4. So you get to play actually an earlier build of RE4, and if you're like a big fan of RE4, you can see a lot of differences. Like the knife is equipable to walk around with the knife. You can press a button to bring up your binoculars anytime you want, which is kind of cool. The health bars are different. The voice acting is like a different take. It's the same voice actors, but they're just different lines of dialogue. Very cool. Now, shit. Some more Nintendo stuff. Another Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. This one had controls where you could shoot people. It's really good. These two games, really fun. I played the shit out of these games with anybody and everyone I could. These are just basically House of the Dead, but Resident Evil, and you get to play through kind of a Cliff Notes version of all of the main series games. Really good. Also really fun. If you have a friend who might not be interested in Resident Evil, doesn't want to sit down and play the games, you guys can just sit down and play co-op together and actually have a fucking good time. This is just so much fun. These are some of the best light gun games I've ever played. There's like in-depth controls and cool bosses, and the gameplay's just really satisfying. A lot of unlockable stuff, upgradable weapons. Good game. This is the sequel, Dark Side Chronicles. Both good games. You can get them on PS3 for in HD. Okay, so some more handheld stuff. We got Resident Evil Revelations on 3DS. This is actually the limited print that came out before that has the incorrect spelling Revelations. It says Revelitons on there. There's like a very few limited run. I got the first run, so it's the misspelled version. Resident Evil Deadly Silence. This game's fucking awesome. It's just Resident Evil 1 classic with the good music, better graphics, all this content, an extra DS mode, multiplayer, which me and my brother and my cousin played a fuck ton. Awesome. Resident Evil Gaiden. This is the Game Boy Color. This is the Game Boy Color game. Leon and Barry on a boat. There we go, boats again. They're on a boat together. Zombies. It's awesome. It's actually really fun. Really good story too. And it's actually an enjoyable Resident Evil game for a Game Boy, if you can imagine. Resident Evil 2 on N64. This version's really cool. Has really good controls. It has like the same controls as the HD ports of Resident Evil Remake and Zero, which is actually interesting. Just another version of Resident Evil 2. You can change blood and make it all rainbow and stuff. All right, now 360 era. We have a port of Revelations. This game's really good. It's a side game, but I actually enjoyed myself. I feel like this was a step in the right direction for Capcom when they were in a weird era, which I'm about to talk about. Operation Raccoon City. A lot of people hate this game. I like this game. I had a lot of fun. I can take it for what it is, as a weird side game. It was really fun playing co-op with my friends and just killing zombies. And the multiplayer was really cool. It was like squad-based multiplayer. Wild zombies were everywhere. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, also a good game. Now, on to the big daddy here. This goddamn game. Resident Evil 5. Holy shit. I'll bring in some more copies too. This is the gold edition on PS3 with all the content. This is the collector's edition on 360. Resident Evil 5 is so good. A lot of people hate this game because it's not a Resident Evil game. It's not technically not in line with the originals, but it continues the story, and there's bioorganic weapons. There's so much fun to be had. It's an endless adventure from start to finish. Completely batshit crazy. Playing with your friends. I co-op with so many people. I have so many memories playing this game, and I still play it to this day. I sit with new people, and they love it. So many people got into the series with this game. It deserves respect because it's just a great game. 5. And then this gem here.
Biohazard 6.
Ridiculous than this. I can honestly say that. Sometimes I think about this game and wonder how it exists. It's completely ridiculous. So much fun. I had so much fun co-oping this game. People still talk about it to this day, whether it's the worst or best Resident Evil game, or I don't know. It's just such a divisive game. And people still talk about it to this day. I think that says something about this game. You know, we're still talking about it, and people are still playing it, including myself. Random side game here. This is the Biohazard Revival selection. This was for PS3. This is when 4 and Code Veronica came out on HD on the PS3. I wanted a physical copy. It was only digital in America, and yeah, it works on PS3 because it's not region locked, and it's a cool version. It's just Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4 in Japanese, but it's all voiced in English, so it's just Japanese subtitles. So, now, okay, on to the Xbox One games. So, basically, we have RA4. The Origins Collection. This is Zero and Remake. Really good. Pick them up. Resident Evil 6 with all the DLC. Resident Evil 5 again with all the DLC. Really good. Revelations 1 and a really good game. Revelations 2. This game has so much content in it. It's a really good game. It's a budget Resident Evil game. It was before they kind of went all out with these games. Fun story, fun co-op. It's actually a pretty decent game. and I think it's free to play. I think you can play the first part of the game for free. So yeah, you have no excuse not to play this game. But yeah, it's another good Resident Evil side title. And now we're on to some serious shit. Resident Evil 7. Once again, another title a lot of people have issues with. I love this game. I was terrified this whole game. It definitely brought fear back, and yeah, it was really intense. It was first person. A lot of people didn't like that. I didn't mind. I thought it was different because I'm open-minded to these things with Resident Evil. In order for it to continue and to grow, it has to change and it has to do different things to survive. And if it's the same game every time, we wouldn't have like 90 games like this. Great game, really intense, highly recommend. And finally, the last games we have here is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Holy shit, this game is also very good. It's in line with Resident Evil 1 Remake. Completely awesome. The graphics are amazing. The acting is top notch. The atmosphere is amazing. Everything is so good about this game. It captures all of Resident Evil 2, but it makes it a new experience. It's on every modern system except for Switch, but I highly recommend playing this. If this is a great entry point to the series, either playing 1 Remake and then this, or play this game. Just play this game. It's really amazing, and it's so good. Yeah, so that's we went through the games now, and then just a quick mention because they're part of the series. This is Vendetta, great movie. Damnation, End of Generation. The Anderson films. You gotta love them. They were just fun to. I have all of them here. More than I would really need. As for the films, they were fun to me. I wasn't one of those fans that hated the films because they butchered the games. I respected them because they were trying something radically different on their own. And by the end, they were completely batshit crazy. And it was just kind of fun to see how they brought some of the creatures to life in real live action. And I had a good time going to see them in theaters, and I kind of missed when there was a Resident Evil movie coming out in theaters, and yeah, they were really good, and it's weird, but yeah, they had a huge influence on the games, actually. Like, there's some of the scenes in the action Resident Evil games kind of were influenced by these movies, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, there's going to be more movies coming out, which are probably going to be more faithful, but if you want better movies, watch the CG movies. They're ridiculous, but they're more like the game. So okay, now that's all. We went through all the games. Now this is a little side part of the collection. I put this in here because it's equally as important to me. It's a little title known as Dino Crisis. This game I actually got into before I got into Resident Evil. I liked Jurassic Park, I liked dinosaur stuff, and then I ended up getting this game, and holy shit, this game is horrifying. As a kid, it was really terrifying, really exhilarating, very hard. The puzzles are insanely hard. But yeah, Dino Crisis is a great game. It's like Resident Evil, but a little bit harder, I think. The enemies are more resilient. The puzzles are super complicated, and it was a really, really good title that I think stood on its own. And then we eventually got what was my top favorite PS1 game of all time, and one of my favorite games of all time, up there with Resident Evil 4, is Dino Crisis 2. Same graphics, same PS1 style, pre-rendered backgrounds, but it has this crazy action gameplay. It's like an action horror game, and it's super fun. There's like a combo system, a lot of cool levels, just a great sequel, great expansion to the story, and this is kind of where the series storyline ended, unfortunately. But they really need to bring back Dino Crisis. I hope. and Dino Crisis 2. These two games, or continue the storyline. Bring Regina back, rewrite some new story. It has to have Regina. It has to have Regina. You cannot get rid of Regina. She is a classic Capcom character. And then that brings me to the Xbox with Dino Crisis 3. This game is another game that maybe I just like am very a Capcom apologist, but I like this game. It was different. It was weird. I would have preferred a sequel to Dino Crisis 2, but this game is just completely batshit. Sends it into the future. The dinosaur designs are really cool. The gameplay is alright. The CG cutscenes are very awesome. And yeah, it was just another one of those games that I appreciated, because I appreciated what the art did with the dinosaurs. But it is a weird plot. It is a weird game. The characters kind of suck, but you know. And then the actual Dino Crisis 3 is Dino Stalker, or Gun Survivor 3 Dino Crisis. It's in the Gun Survivor series. I got this at a BJ's Wholesale Club, and I had no idea it was connected to Dino Crisis until I started the game up, and it had scenes from the Dino Crisis 2 opening, and I thought this game was bootlegged. I was like, what the fuck? Did they just steal scenes from Dino Crisis 2? And then it turns out there's actually plot lines and characters from Dino Crisis 2 in this game. And it's a light gun game. It's weird. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the collection. As of right now, there's probably going to be more titles if they announce Resident Evil 3 Remake, or Resident Evil 8, or Dino Crisis Remake. God, who knows? Yeah, it's a great series. Yeah, fucking best series of all time. Look at this shit. These goddamn games. Look at all these fucking games. Movies, games. Yeah. Play Resident Evil.
Thank you.